All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen the previous video, and this is the first time you're coming across this video, I would suggest you go look at the first video that I put out for Click Alchemy that goes over the basics of using it in general. And most of that time is spent in the workspace because that's where I personally spend most of my time and where I think other individuals will also spend most of their time. And however, I believe the most powerful, or one of the most powerful aspects of this in terms of process and saving yourself time, is building out some useful snippets that you can use via the library here. And these snippets will allow you to reuse content in your descriptions when the AI generates that information, so that you don't have to continually replace links or create, a stack of promotion links or sponsor links or something like that that you might use regularly, right? So so again, some of this is probably going to seem off base if you haven't seen that video. I don't want to rehash a whole bunch of stuff, and so I would suggest going back and checking out that video, which again, I'll have the description down below, and maybe at the end of the video, I'll put up one of those videos somewhere so that it shows up. So the goal here is to show you how to use the title templates. I do think that this is one of the less obvious pieces on how to configure this, but I also think it is one of the more powerful features once you understand how to use it. So I personally have not needed to use this a lot myself because I've been creating one style of content. And with that, when I originally implemented this, I baked in the snippets, well, in particular, the description. The default descriptions don't leverage the snippets, but that's beyond the point. I baked in my particular use cases as examples for the description template. So what I do want to do, though, is I'm going to go through and I'm going to build a snippet and use that in a template, and then also provide another example of how to do the titles, so that you can understand how to use this for yourself. And so if I had the generic cases like the standard YouTube video or something like that, and you see those boxes that don't fill in your links, but you want those to fill in your links so that you don't have to fill those out yourself, this is the place to be. This is what you want. So let's start off with the title template. So first of all, I probably should have grounded this a little bit. So if I go back to a previous video that I had, let's just start off with a new workspace. And this workspace, we're going to call it the 2026. I mentioned title naming and why I do it the way that I do it. You can do it however you want to do it. Click Alchemy, I want it to be capitalized, although it doesn't really matter. And I want to spell it right, of course. And this will be the library. And I'm going to say the snippets. I think the snippets are probably the most useful part, so I'll do that. Once I tab away, I'm going to have this information here. And so again, I didn't mention this in the previous video, so one tidbit about that. Once you select one of these a title style or description style, it's going to stick. So next time you create a workspace, it will use the one that you used last time. And so that's just a minor point to be aware of. If you're changing a lot of different styles, I personally tend to keep it on the same one, and I just happened to change it last time, but I'll use this, the defaults. And again, I said I had this built for myself already. So again, I baked in a QA trading analysis one, and so that's the ones that it sticks on already. But my point about that is if we go to like these titles, this is going to be the curiosity gap one, why some topic has some unexpected outcome. And then we'll create a title that's based on that kind of a format. But what if I want to have a title that doesn't match that format? And so this is, I think it's like an expert decision. I can create a new one. And so the template name, I'm going to call it expert decision. And so is this topic worth it? And so again, I copy and pasted this because I created this ahead of time and I don't want to forget this when I'm writing it and then trying to move back and forth between my references. So is this topic, we put it in brackets because we want that to be some AI generated information based on the title that we're providing, worth it in some number of years, and then expert answered inside, right? So this might be somebody's type of content that they produce where they're an expert in some particular And I should be an expert speller, right? They're an expert in some field, and they're providing their opinion about this, or maybe some research statistics. Anyways, that's how they do that. And then the category, use placeholders for variables. And so the template pattern here is this, and so that should resolve to the that should resolve to the tags that will get the AI will fill it. And so let's go ahead and create this and see how it looks. And so so now we have, again, one thing I'll probably do is just reorder these because the system templates are there, but I think that we should prioritize the sorting so that your templates are on top. I actually thought I had done that already, but I don't see it here. So then when you have yours, you'll have your library on top and all the default ones that you can edit down there. So anyways, we see this now. Is topic worth it in X years? And so you'll see that it, just like these, it has the topic and year, kind of like the AI content that I expect to be filled out based on the title that I do. And it's obviously going to do a little bit more with the title. But one other thing that I wanted to mention that I didn't mention before, when you're creating these, if you're getting something close, but the system template isn't quite cutting it, you can copy this information, create a new template, and then you have the template here. I mean, it's, again, a quality of life aspect so that you don't have to type this all out. You don't have to drag and try to grab that. So I do that in a lot of places here because there's some copy and pasting going in. We're creating content here. We're trying to copy it over into YouTube. I mentioned the OAuth flow that potentially could happen in the future, and something that I wasn't interested in doing right now because I want to just ingrain the process myself. So anyways, now we have a title. So let's go back to our workspace. And so what I want to do is I want to select that expert decision. You'll see these ones have these little pins emojis on there, right? That was the default. If you want to have your own emoji on there, you can just put an emoji in the title. I didn't come up with a unique emoji right now, so I'm not going to pause the video or try and run that into the video. But if you want some cool little emojis in there, you can do that. And so in this one, expert decision, this is going to be all just demo content, right? So, expert decision. I'm trying to figure out some particular topic, and so let's just say how many. Let's see. Discuss how many people will. I like FI stuff, so like financial independence stuff will reach FI. By, I don't know, within their lifetime. So, and then now if I create this title, we should get titles generated that are similar to this concept here. So let's see, that's going to spin for a minute here. And so is FI achievable for most people, lifetime odds? Right, and so I didn't put the year in here because I said lifetime. I didn't mention this. I mentioned this last time, but I didn't demo it. So let's go ahead and demo it now. I can add more titles. So within, or I guess because this is by years. So I guess my description, I should have probably followed the title. So by 2030, 2030. Yeah, so then we'll generate some more titles. Now we should get a little bit closer to the format here. It did follow the format, but it didn't include the year, which is what I wanted. So I guess for some of the AI, might have needed to include that. So yeah, so how many will hit FI by 2030? Now we're getting some of that, right? So is FI by 2030 achievable? The hard truth. And so now we'll get that. Now let's go back and because the next thing that I want to do is I also want to customize the description. And so I'm going to go back here. Ultimately, I want the description, but within this description, you'll see all these descriptions currently aren't referencing any snippets, and it will be clear when they do, and I'll show you what that looks like when we actually build one here, because these were all just the ones that I basically seeded the database with. So let's go back. We do have these templates here, and so we can copy some of these. And so let's do the social media links one. I think that's one. Yeah, and you can see I created this QA social links one, which actually has my links. I hard coded this in, and so I could easily use this one as an example. But for now, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and copy everything. So follow me, social media links. I'm going to copy this as a reference just because it has the links and I don't have to redo those links. And ultimately, that's what I want. But you could copy this one and then just put in your own links if that's what you want, right? And so let's go ahead and create a new snippet, and we're going to say, I'm just going to custom social links. And again, you could copy some of this other stuff if you have promos, right? So, or if you're sponsored, you might want to have a sponsored links, right? And then, or if you have a number of sponsorships, maybe you have multiple links. And so if you're sponsored by multiple people, you can create multiple snippets for multiple sponsorships with all the relevant links for that, and then use that in there, right? So category, social links, the content. So is going to be connect, and the content is what's going to get rendered, right? And so you can use variable names to get the AI to generate some stuff, but for these ones, I know what I want the link to be. I don't want it generating random links, right? So I'm going to put in the specific links that I want. So for me, it's going to be my Twitter handle. It's going to be the Quant Alchemy Discord channel. It's going to be Crown Quant Alchemy Discord channel, which I do a lot of stuff with that. So I'm going to create that snippet. So now I have my snippet created, this custom social links here, and then what I'm now. That won't do anything in itself. So what I need to do now is I need to go back to the description template, and I need to use that in the description template. And so again, I'm very uniquely named custom description. And so I have hook here. So I have the hook that I want. I'm trying to, the way that I did this before, there's a little bit easier way. That's fine. So we'll do the hook. We have hook text. You can copy the descriptions here and get that information as well. And so what button did I click there? Oh, I was adding it. I clicked add snippet. That's not what I wanted to do. So I have the hook section, and then before on the other ones, like you'll see some what you'll learn kind of things. And so you'll see, like if you want an emoji here, you just put the name of what this thing is. So learn section. So this will be like the thing that I'm going to learn. And then again, you'll see in mine, I have emojis, right? So if you want an emoji, you just put an emoji here. You can copy these the same way you can copy the other ones, and then just kind of copy and paste some of this content in here. And so you will learn to be great. And of course, you'll put a bunch of other stuff in here. And then I want to add another section for demo purposes. But first, I'm going to click this Add Snippet section. So I'm going to click the Add Snippets. And then the thing that I want to include here is I want to include the social links. And so I have the social links down here, and I have my custom social links. So I'm going to put that in there. And you'll see the content is going, it gives you a preview of what it's going to be, but the content is what I put in there. The other thing that I want to mention about this is there's a preview on the right, so you can kind of see what this is going to look like. You've got the hook text it's going to put in there, the learn. This stuff isn't going to render. What's going to render is the content. So it's only going to render, you will learn to be great. And then now you have your custom social links here, and you'll see these get a little special treatment to them, and that's why I knew, or you can tell from the system descriptions, that they're not using these snippets there, just the way that the database is seated. So done. The other thing that I want to mention about this is you might want to position this differently, right? And so I might not want this to be down here. And so right here, what I can do is I can say, oh, I want to put it after the hook. And so it's going to come after the hook. And now you'll see in the preview over on the right here, it actually bumped up. And so from here, you get the hook. Now you're getting your custom social links, and then you do other stuff. And so I'm done with this one now. I'm happy with that. And maybe I want to add another one. So what other things might I want to add? There's a bio section. Okay, so let's add our bio. And the bio here, I probably do want that to be at the very end. Maybe you want it before the hook, right? So you could put it way at the front. You could put it at the very start, which it'll go right up to the front. You'll see it update here, right? But if you don't want that, maybe you just want it at the very end. You can put it after the other things as well. So I'm just going to put it at the very end. If you want these to be ordered differently among the snippets, you have drag handles here, right? And so these should be movable. And I'm probably just, let's see, get this to move. So, all right. Well, these can be reordered. I'll have to look and see if there is a little bit of a bug there, because these were draggable the other day, and now there's an issue here. But the point is, you can reorder these amongst themselves as well. So the snippets can be ordered as well, and so I'll take a look at that one, of course. Demo gods, right? So as soon as you start doing a demo, then something's going to break. So let's go back. So now we have our custom template. Again, I want to reorder these. All the templates you create should be at the top. And then we can, we'll go back to our workspace. Within our workspace, I can now do my custom description. And then you'll see the preview here as well has updated. And again, you get this special treatment with your custom channel bio and your social links, right? And so now when I create a description, so I've already selected the title, now I'm going to generate a description. It's going to have the hook, the custom social links, the learn, and then the description channel bio. And again, I think this is, once you create these, it creates a very easy flow of just like generate my title. Like I'm going to come in here, I'm going to come up with the concept and iterate on that a little bit if I want. I'm going to pick the face that I want. I'm going to generate my title, generate my description, and generate my thumbnails, and just copy paste stuff or upload it into YouTube pretty quickly. And so, yeah, so that is going to be it for that one. That one was, as again, I just want to kind of have a bit of a conclusion here on this video. And the point about this is, I think that for myself, it's been super useful. But one of the reasons it's been super useful is because it saved me a ton of time in my process without having to continually create these unique descriptions. I mean, the descriptions that come out, you can obviously modify them if you want, but they've come out in ways that I've enjoyed or liked, and it's just saved me a lot of time in my process. But the reason that has happened is because I have customized descriptions here. I don't think that you're going to get near the value out of this if you're not creating a custom description with those snippets, so that you can just copy and paste that information without needing to continually modify your descriptions. I'm sure for a lot of people that are going to be pros at this, they probably have a process, or they're using some editor or something like that, and they just do it that way. But for me, this has been super helpful, and so I wanted to have a very specific video about this part, because I think it is, again, probably the most complicated parts to understand about this product, but I also think it's one of the most important parts in terms of optimizing your process and getting what you want out of the tool. So that's going to be it for the next one. I will do another short video on the other information that I have in here. Everything else beyond this is pretty simple. The workspace is where you do all your work. Once you have your library templates and snippets and descriptions customized, you're pretty much done in terms of, I think, putting many hours, and it probably doesn't take that many hours anyways, into actually making the customizations on top of this so that it really becomes friendly for you to use. And then everything else is just like the inner workings of the product. I want to manage my billing and stuff like that. So I'll probably do a real quick video off of that, but that should be much shorter than the other ones. If you guys have any questions, I've got my connect links in my YouTube channels and or in my YouTube channel descriptions and that using this tool. And also you can just comment on this video if you have any questions. I'll be happy to respond there. And for all of you that are using this, I hope you're enjoying it, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks.